Welcome everyone to a brand new survival Let's Play with me, Grain. This is a brand new world, as I've said. My first ever YouTube video, so I'm very excited to get going. And this is where I have spawned. What a view. What a view. Anyway, let's have a quick look around, shall we? I'm using the Java edition of the game. For me, the true edition of the game. So we have a number of mods running. None that I would call particularly cheaty, but just mods that I feel enhance the experience of the base game. So I think the obvious one that you can probably see is a shader. This particular shader is Sonic Ether's renewed shaders, which I absolutely love. I've not really tried any of the other ones yet. I will. The performance hit is unfortunately a situation that I'm willing to accept because it just looks so beautiful. But the render distance is nowhere near where I normally have, and I've got a fairly powerful rig here. So yeah, let's have a little nose around. So what I normally try and do is spot if there are any villages nearby, which make the first night so much more straightforward. But of course we can't see very far and trees everywhere, so I think I'm just going to get myself some quick tools. Of the floating tree up there. Let's look around. Oh, doggy. This is why the shaders are particularly special. There's a bit of ice there, of course, but the water is absolutely beautiful. I've also got a data pack, a Vanilla Tweaks data pack, and this one is, I think it's called Bushy Trees or something like that, but it does make the trees look a little bit less boxy, I should say. Anyway, back to the tools. So one mod that I do use with some settings turned on but not all is the Miner's Advantage, which is an absolutely wonderful mod as far as I'm concerned, because I like to make things a little bit more realistic, and for me floating trees is not realistic. These should fall down when you chop them. They should all fall down, but of course that's not always the case. But this mod actually, when it works normally, should allow you to actually drop the tree down with one go. I'm sure there'll be those that you consider it cheaty. I understand that, but here we go. This is just my preference, and it's why I play the game. One of the reasons why Java, I think, is the definitive edition, because you can actually, obviously it's where it started, but also I just love the fact that you can tweak things. It's a lot more tweakable, obviously a lot more moddable than Bedrock. Of course, Bedrock is where the advantages are the multi-platform play, and I've played, in all honesty, I've played more Bedrock in the last 3 years than I have Java. Right, I think it's now time to try and find somewhere to stay for the night before the sun goes in. But having climbed to the top here, again a little early game tactic that I normally employ to try and see if I can spot any interesting features, generating structures, and I've spotted this. It looked like we have some campfires, so I'm going to be, before the sun gets down, which it is very close to, heading over there. So, this is the next morning. I found a village. I found a bed to sleep for the night after running away from this fella. I really need to get a shield and probably eat something too. So, village that I found is in the middle of some red trees, and it's kind of a split level village. It's a bit of a mess. It's only a villagers though, so what I'm aiming to do is to try and secure the place, light it up, ensure that there's plenty of protection for the villagers. But it's a bit of a mysterious place. I have never seen village generations like this before. But either way, I do have this kind of habit of, when I find a village, I feel like I have this obligation to make it safe. So that's what I'm going to do. So while I'm helping out these villagers, I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the mods I'm using, particularly focusing on the world generation side of things. So the first mod, as you may have noticed from the strange generation of trees, perhaps also the biomes looking a little bit unfamiliar, is because I'm using the Biomes of Plenty mod, and this mod is my favourites. It really sort of adds hugely to the variation in the world generation, and it just makes the world's much more interesting places to explore. So you have coniferous forests, you have cherry blossoms, you have pumpkin patches, you have lavender fields, wheat fields, tropics, volcanoes, and that's just the overworld. The Nether has its own new set of biomes as well to complement the new ones introduced in the last major update. So underground, of course, there's also a lot of changes coming up in 1.17, which I really can't wait for, but seeing as that's probably next year, we'll see that. I wanted to talk about the two underground world generation mods. So this is by both these mods are by someone called Nikki Young, and they have produced a better caves mod which overhauls how cave systems are generated. So again, like 1.17 aims to do, and I've not yet really explored the generation of these mods, but I mean, you've got lava caverns, you've got underground lakes and rivers, flooded caverns, all sorts in there. So that'll be exciting when we do get to explore underground and do a bit of mining. And the better mine shafts by the same mod author is also, I think, adds variety to the naturally generated mine shafts that you get, and I guess I believe it makes the mine shafts more biome specific in terms of the blocks used and the way that they are generated. So it's something to look forward to when we go exploring underground. Welcome to the new, improved, safer, lit up and thoroughly protected village. So I spent a few hours just tidying up the place, making it a bit more presentable. It's still not going to win any awards in that department, but it's got a healthy population of villagers doing their thing, making plenty of noise. But yeah, it's quite a nice, picturesque woodland village. I've put a fence around the place, I've lit up. Villagers do seem to enjoy getting themselves stuck in these trapdoor troughs for some reason. I mean, it might make it easier to actually breed them, to be honest. Bonetta, Melissa, Christina, and Leslie. You guys will be getting busy very soon. So yeah, I've added a few. I've added the fence. I secured it. There's a fence around the entire perimeter. I haven't actually been into all the houses yet to see if there's any decent items in the chests. Let's have a quick look. I just collect everything at this stage of the game. You never know. But yeah, I've added some steps as well, just to make it a little easier to get around. What do we have in here? Yeah, I think it's just a very picturesque village, actually. It's quite a nice place to live. I've taken this upstairs brew as my own. This is where a lot of my unwanted stuff tends to get dumped at the moment. But yeah, it's nice, and check this out for a view. You have what appears to be some kind of Game of Thrones style wall behind us, or at least part of a wall. So definitely somewhere to explore, I think. Moving on to the next house. There's another one. You right there? Not much going on in there. I think that is just about it for housing. I'll just show you up here. So this is the split level village. You've got a nice view from up here. Again, more of the wall up there. Very keen to get on top of that and see what happens. Appear to have some quite tall trees over there. One thing I've never really thought of with campfires actually is as waypoints, because obviously the smokestacks go high in the air, particularly in an area where, like in this forest, your visibility is very low. It could be a good way of marking out some important waypoints. So I will be bearing that in mind. Yeah, there's just a little farm up here that this guy's getting busy with. So yeah, this is the village. Quite handy. It's quite close to spawn. I've got myself my house over there, and I think it's now time for some mining. Welcome back. This is probably the first time you've seen nighttime in this village, but it's very pretty, I think. And this is the start of my mine. What I'm going to do is just build probably just a staircase all the way down, and then start some strip mining down at the lower levels to try and find myself some diamonds, etc. Iron as well would be incredibly useful. But another reason I'm doing it in this location is just on the off chance that I've lucked out, the village that I'm building in has a stronghold underneath it. I'm not really sure about the generation of strongholds in Java Edition. I'm sure people will let me know about this, but in Bedrock I'm certainly aware of there being a higher concentration of strongholds below villages, village centres in particular. So with any luck, we might actually find we've got a stronghold right on our doorstep. I can hear lots of strange noises, so I'm going to have a little dig in this direction and see what I can find. With any luck, maybe a spawner, which would be incredibly useful early on in the game. What do we have here? Dark and scary. Let's light this situation up a little bit. I wonder if there's anything up there. I should come and say hello to me if there is. Any nasties? Oh, here we go. Back off. I think I'll leave him alone. It amazes me how scared I get early on in this game. Anyway, back to the mining. One thing I have noticed with this shader pack is it's, despite being lovely to look at, and the lighting is just very atmospheric. It does make cave exploration interesting though, because what appears to be quite sufficient lighting is actually not. And I'm getting the nasties spawning all over the place, so it's making it very hard to judge what is sufficient lighting or not. So I think I'll probably end up switching between shader packs depending on whether I'm outside or underground. So where is my creeper friend? He must have despawned. Never mind, somewhere to explore, and that way I think next time I come down here. Just a quick look outside. As you can see, it's a very pretty place. I keep saying it, but I'll keep saying it again. Lovely place to live, for now at least. So, what was that? Is that a fox hiding away there? Hello, Mr. Fox. Anyway, time for bed. Good news, but I have some bad news too. The good news is we had a very successful trip underground. We managed to get about 1 stack of iron blocks, probably about 5 stacks of coal, and about 5 ingots of gold. So that went very well. No diamonds, unfortunately. But our villagers, there was a bit of a zombie attack, and there aren't many of them left anymore. So we have a bit of a repopulation task to focus on. Probably do that in the next episode. All in all, I'm pretty happy with how things have gone. I think we've done an awful lot. We've found ourselves a nice village to settle in. We've done ourselves some mining, plenty of coal and iron to get going. We've made these villagers safe, mostly. So as the sun sets on the world and on this episode, I would be very grateful if you could leave a like, a comment. Even if you really like what I've done, then consider subscribing. I would be most grateful. So the comments especially, I'll be keeping an eye on them. If you've got any thoughts on the episode, what you'd like to see happen next time, that would be great. I guess also your thoughts about the shaders, whether you think they're good, or whether I should go back to basics, that would be good to hear from you. But otherwise, have a great day, and see you next time.